For one, I always wanted to have my own freedom, like time freedom and all of that. But then just also like I wanna leave, like I wanna build generational wealth. I wanna leave a legacy, and I wanna just do amazing things. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm driven by just like constantly wanting to do better and wanting to just constantly increase my impact. Starting once I tapped into social media, really realizing how much you can also influence people and help people's businesses. And I feel like I've learned so much about advertising, and I've experienced so much in so many different business models. It's like I'm constantly learning a lot. So it's like I can be of value in so many different ways. So at this point, I'm just trying to just keep the needle moving.
What's happening, good people? Welcome to another episode of First Generation Wealth Builders, man. Today, I got a special guest, and I am in a situation where I'm losing tracking of my traffic online, and the world runs on Facebook, Google, and Instagram ads. So we're gonna learn today about that, man. We got Aaron. What's happening, big
What's
dog?
good? What's good, bro? Man, appreciate you having me, bro.
No doubt, man. Thank you for coming through, man. For those who don't know you, introduce yourself.
Right. So pretty much, guys, my name is Aaron. I'm Aaron Ball 30 on Instagram. I run an advertising agency. I've been in the e-commerce space since about 2016. Picked up the skill of Facebook ads around that point, and then I was pretty much a freelancer for about 2 years. Then after that, I pretty much started growing a team, had clients, and now I pretty much like I'm the advertising guy. I'm the ad guy.
Got you, got you,
Yep.
got you. So you basically can assist anybody that's selling a product and a service,
Mm-hmm.
grow their or scale their business
Mm-hmm.
via ads.
Right. 100%.
Got you. Question to you, man, just to get things started. What
Okay.
scares people about doing ads typically? Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I feel like a lot of us are a lot of these businesses are going out of business because they're marketing the traditional ways
Mm-hmm.
because they don't understand the new
100%.
ways.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Honestly, I feel like it really just come down to like the understanding of it. Like,
Mm.
like, because I know when I talk to business owners, like I really simplify it down so that way you can understand it. But that's literally one of the biggest objections is like, I don't really understand what's going on. Like, do it even work? You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much one of the biggest fears, just not really understanding it.
So I'm a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
How do you introduce ads to me?
Right. So really, the first thing I like to tell people is like the digital ecosystem kind of changed or really like when you think about it, you got to think about it in terms of like everything that you do in an online store, online landing page, digital product services, regardless what you're selling, there's data points that you can track, right? So I used to tell like when I first started out, I was doing lead generation for brick and mortar clients, and I used to tell them like when somebody walks into your store, you can't if they don't, give you an email, if they don't buy something, you don't know anything about that individual. But with Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and the whole digital ecosystem allows us to do is when somebody visits your page, you track them. So you
How
can
do you track them?
It's called a pixel.
What's a
Right.
pixel?
So a pixel pretty much is like all the platforms have them. They got the Facebook pixel, and that pretty much allows to simplify it. It's like a little GPS tracker that's on your site. Just to
For the individual.
for the individual, right?
Gotcha.
So if it's on whatever it is you're selling, if you got that pixel on there, it's going to be tracking the individual's actions, on your site. So for example, did somebody add the cart and they didn't buy it, and then if you see that ad on your social media, like same thing for Amazon. We can go search Amazon looking for a particular product. Maybe we didn't buy it, we got sidetracked. The next thing you know, we see it on our timeline. That's not a coincidence. And honestly, that's what got me in the game because 2016, I was like trying to really figure out like, how is this happening? I was going through a process really like trying to, I was doing a little something in my entrepreneurship game. I know we're going to get to that point probably at some point, but pretty much I was selling t-shirts at my college. I was Googling different ways about how you can make money
Would
online.
you go to college?
University of Central Oklahoma.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But let's
And,
get back to it though. I'm sorry.
For sure, you good. And pretty much, I started to realize that after I was doing that, I kept seeing, I'm sure you heard of Ty Lopez, They're Here in My Garage. I kept seeing that ad, right? And I'm like, So I'm asking the homies like, hey, are y'all seeing this? And I got in this funnel. Then I'm seeing more stuff on Facebook about it. I'm asking the homies like, are y'all seeing this? Are y'all seeing this? Nobody's seeing it. But mind you, none of my homies was interested in what I was interested in. So then I started to think, we literally having a little get together at the crib. I'm like, bro, show me your Facebook timeline. Like, cause this is crazy. I don't understand how I'm seeing all this stuff about how to make money online all of a sudden. I'm like, and I'm sitting there like, shit, is the law of attraction? What the hell going on? So after then pretty much, he was like, he was into horses and like pretty much he was into horses and stuff. And on his timeline, he had all kinds of different stuff. And that's why I was like, I don't know how this is happening, but I got to figure it out. And that's what I bought, some of Ty Lopez's entry-level stuff that I can afford at the time. And then that pretty much ignited the journey, that got me really tapping into it.
Gotcha. So that's the first course you bought to then empower you now that you do ads.
But that was like the first one. But then I started to just get whatever I could get my hands on, just really wanting to learn it. And of course I was doing my thing on YouTube, but at the time I just did not understand like what was going on. I understood that you can run ads on social media, but I didn't know that you can do it based off of somebody's interest.
Fair enough.
So that's super powerful, and then that's what made me like, all right, I got to figure this out.
Got you. So let's talk about that journey though. So you figure it out, because you went to the Ty Lopez class. Then what was the next steps into your journey?
So pretty much what I was doing at the time, I ended up getting my bachelor. I didn't learn any of this and that though, but I ended up getting my bachelor's degree in design and media marketing. But I started to take a lot of electives about advertising and stuff like that, or whatever they call them.
So you was like doing like Photoshop type stuff.
Yeah, that was my lane, designing logos, all of that stuff.
Right.
So
do you do websites?
Not anymore.
But
not
you did.
anymore, but that's what I did. Like, that was my lane. I was building websites, designing websites. Like whenever I had a period where I worked corporate America for a little bit. Like, I had built 800 websites in a year and I was managing and maintenance in them. That's what I was doing for that company. But basically, when I started to tap into the education about advertising, what I did, I already had a couple clients that I was like doing all the design work for. So where I went next, this is still that same year, 2016. One of my clients had a transmission shop. I had did all of their design work from flyers around the city, their logo, whenever they needed new garments for their team, all of that stuff. I said, look, I got something that I think I pretty much pitched them. I said, I can't say exactly how I'm going to do it, but I've been doing good business with you because I had this person as a client for a year. Like, I've been doing good business with you for a year. I want to run you guys' ads for a month for free.
Gotcha.
So that
was basically your guinea pig.
That was my guinea pig. That was my guinea pig, and I was like,
so you gave value though,
Yep.
And that's how you got opportunity.
And then literally that same client, that same business, they're still my company's client to this day. That was in 2016. So what happened was they started to, it's like, we can, we can work with it. Let's do it. So the month went by, it was like, we starting to notice a little something. The phone's ringing more. Then I'm like, let's do it again. Still no charge. Second month, like they had their business just started to pick up. And mind you, the situation of this company, pretty much it was a father-son duo. But the father was a little bit older and he was slowly handing it over to his son. And I had met his son via social media. So his dad was a little hesitant, like, I don't know, but it sounded like we got to start doing some new stuff because these signs that we got around the city ain't really working because they was doing billboard marketing still. So, he pretty much trusted his son. Me and his son is real cool to this day. And he turned into a paying client. But it was just I wanted to take what I was learning because I understood how it made sense. I'm just like, hey, if I'm searching how to make money online, different opportunities online, how to advertise, and then this is following me all around the internet, I'm like, what if people who are typing in like they need a transmission repair or they need a free inspection on their transmission, and I can target that in a mile radius of your city. It was actually in Athens, Georgia. So we started off the campaign targeting a 25-mile radius of there, and their business just kept growing. And then since then, I call them up. They love Facebook ads.
Got you. What was the next step into your development?
So from there, I pretty much just, I stayed in that space, just learning it more with them because I was doing lead generation, and I pretty much just rinse and repeat it.
Was
Just
you
did the
solely
same play.
working with them, or you had more customers? You had a job? How were
So
you making money?
right. So at the time, what exactly was I doing around that time? So I kept quitting quitting jobs. Like, I was always quitting jobs because I was natural wanting to be
You
an
had commitment
entrepreneur.
issues, bro.
Maybe call it that, but basically, man, I knew that like entrepreneurship was for me. You know, I'm not the one to just knock college or anything like that. You know, it's for who it's for.
Right.
But I knew that through it, I definitely wanted to, graduate from my pops and from my mom and all of that and finish that. But I didn't want to just work a job. So I would get a job. I would only try to take jobs that allowed me to have some type of control of my time. So I can't remember what job I had at the time, but I remember quitting that one. And then I ended up getting where I got to do contract work as a school photographer for high schools and colleges. I would go and take pictures of graduations and school photos, sports, whatever it was, but I could control the time. Because the way it worked is they would send out like, we got these events, and then I worked my way up. I did real good to where they would always give me priority. So then what I started to do is I would just rack up a bunch of events in the front part of the week. In the back part of the week, I'd be like, all right, I'm finna try to get another client.
Gotcha.
And then I just kept on the clients that I was already doing design work for. I just kept doing the same thing, pitching the same deal. Like, all right, if I did it for transmissions, maybe I can do it for something else.
Got you. Today, how many clients do you have?
As of today, we've got about 42 clients.
Got you. That's super dope. Super dope. In 5 years.
So it was a little rocky. It didn't continue doing that because I was still figuring it out. That's lead generation. I eventually got into e-commerce. So what really was the icing on the cake, I was just still doing that for a while, figuring out. I had a few clients. I don't remember the full time frame on, probably now we're probably in about 2017. The big break happened in 2018.
What would happen there?
The big break, I had a buddy, he stays in Georgia too, hence everybody in Georgia. I had a buddy.
Hey, we just talked about moving to Georgia. That's why he laughed like that.
Right, man. It's very sad out here. But I had a buddy that pretty much reached out to me and was like, bro, everything that you're doing right now, you understand Facebook ads. Why aren't you drop shipping? Why aren't you also
So what's
these
drop
trends?
shipping for somebody who doesn't know?
Okay, 100%. So drop shipping is pretty much where you sell so you would have like a supplier, and you sell the product, but you never touch the product. The supplier ships the product for you, and you just got to pay the supplier the wholesale price, and you make the profit in the margin.
Got you. What's the benefit of drop shipping?
So the benefit is to be able to pretty much ride these trends, sell a product and never even have to touch it or hold inventory, or you don't have to come out of pocket to buy a bunch of inventory. So it's low startup costs. It is very competitive. So you do got to kind of know what you're doing in that space. But it's just low startup costs.
Do you pay a surcharge when they do the drop shipping for you versus you doing it yourself? If the product is worth $20, if they drop ship it, then you got to pay them $22?
Oh, no. So it's pretty much, you would be working with like China suppliers. And then eventually once you get a product that works for you, you do want to see if you can get it in like, get an agent to get you in like a distribution center in the United States. You can have faster shipping.
But
yeah.
How did you track stuff like that? Just, so I got China suppliers. I have India suppliers as far as hair extensions. My product's a little different though, just because it's real hair.
Right.
We want to make sure that we touch and feel the quality before we put it out in the market.
Right.
Because we pay a premium for the product, but we could be paying a premium for the product, and they could be sending out, subpar quality.
Right.
So we can't afford to drop ship like that. But I was always afraid of drop shipping, and my drop shipper sending their information.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like being unethical to the business structure. Yeah. So I always feared that.
So I ended up. I got access to the information. So what happened was my buddy that I was talking about, he when he reached out to me and told me that, he was like, look, I know you're gonna succeed in this, but I am starting to do. He was already successful in the dropshipping space. He was never running ads for lead gen though. So we kind of exchanged a little value, but he was really, really crushing it. So look, I'm also trying to work into building my one-on-one program. I can start to consult you at, this price right here. If you're in for it, then just make sure you hit me with a testimonial after. So we did. He started telling me how the business model worked, what you talking about, how to make sure that the supplier removes their receipt, their branding, all of that. So then that way a customer's getting something just like it's from Amazon. So that was how I got into that space and kind of skipped through a lot of headaches there too.
Got you. Do you still do it?
I still do it, but it's like I got a team now that can kind of, do it for me.
Got you. This man's automated. I like it.
Yeah.
Got you. So let's go back, man. Let's go back to go forward.
Okay.
So where you from?
Oklahoma City, born and raised.
Got you. I heard you say you are considering moving soon.
Absolutely, man. So my first experience in Atlanta was crazy. It was honestly that same 2016 year that I'm describing. I got family out here. I got a lot of family out here that lives in Atlanta. I came out here and stayed with them because I was doing online classes for this semester instead of like having to go to the class and all that. So I didn't, have to be back home. So I came out here and stayed the summer with my cousin. And then that's when kind of opened my eyes to realize, yeah, I'm not dreaming big enough. Because Oklahoma is I love my city, but it's small. You don't really see a lot. You're not really exposed to a lot. And I don't know very many entrepreneurs. When I came out here, I'm like,
everybody and their mama entrepreneur.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro.
Got you. So it's a personal question.
Okay.
Do you have a little anxiety or a little nervous about the move? Because Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like how you feel about that?
I think the biggest thing where I kind of get a little anxious with it is because I want to make sure, like, I'm a married man, My wife coming, she's not an entrepreneur. She's actually, she's a registered nurse, but she actually stepped down as a registered nurse just because she's more, she's figuring herself out in a few areas, but she's a lot more valuable to helping in areas, with my company, the whole shebang bang, than, just being gone 12-hour shifts. And she was getting stressed out doing it. So I said, well, let's do this. If you're ready, let's do it. So saying that to say, I've always been more open to living somewhere else, but she's kind of adapting to it. So
Got you. She's following your lead.
Yeah.
Understood.
So that come with a little pressure, a little anxious, like, man, I can't mess up.
You got to succeed.
I can't mess up. Yeah.
What's your ultimate why outside of, there's a lot of entrepreneurs here.
Mm-hmm.
What's your ultimate why?
Man, I say ultimate why is I always wanted to have my own freedom, like time freedom and all of that. But then just also like I wanna leave, like I wanna build generational wealth, I wanna leave a legacy, and I wanna just do amazing things. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm driven by just like constantly wanting to do better and wanting to just constantly increase my impact. Starting once I tapped into social media, really realizing how much you can also influence people and help people's businesses. And I feel like I've learned so much about advertising and I've experienced so much in so many different business models. It's like I'm constantly learning a lot. So it's like I can be of value in so many different ways. So at this point, I'm just trying to just keep the needle moving.
Got you. So as far as like entrepreneurship, what was your first encounter with entrepreneurship?
I say when I was doing t-shirts. So my cousin put me on so he has a t-shirt brand. The cousin that I said I came out here with, stayed a month. He put me on a way. I can draw a little bit. Well, not anymore, but at the time, I was had a pretty solid talent. So he put me on a wave on how pretty much to systemize painting t-shirts, right? So what I was doing while I was in school, at the time I was also doing it. It was cool. I was making some money from it, but it was also allowing me to throw some parties.
Got you.
So I started painting t-shirts, just pretty much selling t-shirts. And that was like my first real, like actually running a business, not fully knowing what I'm doing. It was hand painted art. So I was selling like $40 to $60 a t-shirt, all type of custom stuff, whatever it was. It was all hand painted. And I would just go around the school. I started off with, I'm sure you do hair extensions. I'm sure like the woman consumer. If you can appeal to the woman consumer,
you win.
You win. So I started off just going up to ladies like, hey, I got this shirt. one of my hit shirts, it was like, it had some lips on there and it said like, single, taken, working on my degree. And then the working on my degree,
that.
it had kissing lips in there. So, so I painted that.
I remember that.
So I went, hit up the AKs. I can do this same design in green and pink. Hit up, I'm just going, talking to them. But at the same time, I did know that like, you know, if you're gonna have a party, you gotta have women coming to the party. Like, so I'm gonna make some money, sell some t-shirts, but then I'm gonna also say, you know, I'm throwing a kickback this weekend. And so that's kind of how that turned. But then I'm like, forget these kickbacks. I'm really starting to get to the bag, you know, and that was my first business.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
So then from there, you said you had the inconsistency with the jobs
Mm-hmm.
and then moved on. Now, let's tap into real estate, man. Do you work with any investors?
So,
And if you don't, have you worked
Right.
with an investor?
right, I haven't. Well, I know that. So we do got a couple clients because we also help the clients that are pretty much educators and they have their courses. So we got a couple clients that's in like the Airbnb space, the wholesaling space, but like as far as like working
Like
for
teaching
them,
it, right?
Right, teaching it,
Okay,
but they
gotcha.
also do it themselves.
Got you. To protect their privacy
Mm-hmm.
and and the ethics of your company,
Mm-hmm.
are you able to tell like ballpark range what they get as far as return on their investment in the ratio? Because they don't know what ROAS typically is. Most people don't know what ROAS is.
Right.
But you could explain it if you want to.
So pretty much ROAS that's basically your return on ad spend, right? So with digital products, you don't have no cost of goods. So I mean, if you spending $1, you making out $3, you don't got to worry about a cost of goods. You just need to focus on spending as much money possible so you can continue to spend that $1 and get out $3.
So what I hear you saying is this: hey, if I spent $1 and it brought me back $3,
Mm-hmm.
the $1 was spent to acquire the client,
Mm-hmm.
and the return in revenue was $3.
Right.
So
So that would mean you have a 3 ROAS.
gosh, a
Mhm.
4 ROAS means that I spent $1, got 4 clients.
100%.
What-
Or got for it would mean the value of
Yes,
that.
yes. I'm sorry, I got
Yeah,
$4 in ROAS. I'm sorry. So, as we were saying, you have some guys that are in the education space.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the education space,
Mhm.
so I think this is a good time for you to
Right,
pitch me.
right.
You know what I'm saying? The ballpark. What are you doing ROAS for some of them?
So it's so many different models, you know, that can be done in that space. Like a lot of our clients in that investor, wholesaling, Airbnb, a lot of times their education is a little bit more high ticket.
Mhm.
So what we help them do is we pretty much help them they do the webinar model. You know,
Gotcha.
they do
So
the-
when you say high ticket, you're talking about a price point $2,000 or higher.
right.
All right.
Right.
Webinar model. What's the webinar model?
So the webinar model is, for example, they have like a live webinar training, you know, it could be every Sunday. And the objective for an advertiser, or if you're working with an ad agency, is to drive as many leads as possible to get in that room. So then that way they have a constant flow of audiences, right? But then through that process, if you're doing a webinar, you got to figure out like, what is your show rate from the actual people that opt in? And then what is your conversion rate once you really start to get it perfected? Because once you figure out your conversion rate, then you can get more comfortable with like, let's spend a lot of money. Because that way it's a little, because think about it in terms of when you're doing the webinar every Sunday, unlike e-commerce, you get data immediately. You run ad, if they make a purchase, you get it immediately. With that model, you running ads all week, you know what I'm saying? And then the webinar is on Sunday. So you got to constantly adjust to what the data tells you after Sunday, but you still got to spend money through the week to get people in there.
Got you.
So,
Got you. So that's like in the beginning, that's a upfront dice shoot,
mm-hmm.
depending on how good, you are of a brander and marketer. Now,
Right.
question to you, how important is social media to somebody who does ads? So my social media page,
Mm-hmm.
I teach real estate. I teach people how to get their first free rental property, or how to get free rental properties.
Mm-hmm.
So I give tips all the time.
Okay.
My videos,
Right.
things like that, podcast videos,
Right.
to bring social proof.
Right.
How important is what I'm doing to the ads that you're marketing?
I think it's very important. Reason being is because like I do know that there are some individuals out there that fully function off of ads, but they're really spending a ton. Because the deal is, you got to think about it as like ads bring people into your world, right? But if they come into your world and you're not also nurturing them, then the competition is just gonna steal that lead from you pretty much.
So define nurturing them in a digital term.
Okay. So nurturing would be like, let's say you had an ad, right? Educating on real estate. And let's say you got a training and you're educating to come to my training. Well, let's say they also follow you. So if they initially, their first point of contact was through that ad, and they're like, oh, this guy knows his stuff. But then they come to your page, you ain't talking about nothing. If they didn't buy initially from that ad, which most of the time that's called a top of funnel ad, that first point of contact, and then the retargeting ads, which we'll probably get into that, can nurture them through the process. But like that educator, that content creator wants to make sure they're still doing their own thing too, because some people, especially in the high ticket range, in the high ticket space, it could take a little time to convert somebody. You know what I'm saying?
So when you say a little time, what's a little time? 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, a month?
Really, all of them. All of them. You're gonna have people that take that, like you're gonna have people like the deal with retargeting ads, and back to that pixel is you can create custom audiences that didn't buy from you yet, right? So it's kind of just like, I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way, but in the advertising space, we pretty much function off of a like buy or die. So it don't matter if you're 30 days into the funnel, you done went through, you done went through the process in the funnel, but you still ain't bought. You're still gonna be seeing ads. You're gonna be getting retargeted, and then that content creator should be nurturing, so that way you can be building that like, know, and trust factor. Because the deal with Facebook ads.
Hold on.
Okay.
That was quick.
Okay, my bad. I was gonna get
the like, know, and trust factor.
Right.
All right. So somebody like me, I need to understand what that is. I get it, but I need to hear it from you because I'm assuming. So what is the like, know, and trust factor that I need to build as an advertiser?
So to kind of break it down as simple as possible, like you got to really think about it as like you're a stranger when somebody sees you, right? So when you're nurturing them, you got to, what you do, your vibe is going to resonate to somebody. So then they're going to start to like you. You're putting out content. You're sharing a little bit about, like, for example, me, I always share. I'm a married man. I got 2 little French bulldogs. I like cars. I share stuff about me.
I saw the vet. The vet got a little injury. I saw that.
Yeah, it did. Appreciate it. But it's like you're just sharing more of yourself to the world to help you create that like, know, and trust factor, because with ads, you're literally targeting whatever it is you do, you're targeting, they're interested in it, or else they wouldn't be popping up to be able to target them. But that's what's not just going to convert them. They have to actually get to know your business, get to know who you are, get to like you, know you, and trust you.
Got you.
So
everybody marketing needs to build that.
Absolutely.
Got you. Understood. All right. So as they're going through that process, you said it could take 7, 14, 20, and 30 days. How would you coach somebody that's taking a little bit longer? How would you coach me to improve that conversion from 30 days to 14 days typically? Like, what are you looking at to like assist me in curating some ads that could increase or shorten the time? I'm sorry.
Most of the time, if I see the time longer than that, it probably means that the individual, well, you got to have congruency with your ad and then the landing page. And just to make sure I explain congruency, that's meaning like if you talking about basically whatever you're talking about on that ad, that's what it better be talking about on the landing page. I see way too many times people just throw their landing page together like, all right, I got it up. Let's get these ads going. And the ads they don't have the same verbiage. They don't have the same dialogue. Sometimes the offer don't even sound the same. So then there's a big disconnect. So you could have a great product, but your conversion rate is trash because there's a disconnect. There's no congruency from the ad, and that's all a part of the funnel. So you got to make sure you have congruency. So,
got you. A lot of boys throwing a lot of bread through the window.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are trying to do their own ads, but they probably don't understand the concept.
And then I wanted to double back on something. What was the last question you just asked?
Man, I've been rolling, so I forgot. You know what I'm saying? My bad. I probably cut you off too. All right.
Good.
So now that I say that, there are a lot of people that teach you how to do your own ads. Some of the things that you're saying, do you teach that in your course?
Yeah. So pretty much, I got two different products. I got one product, it's called the Advertising Field Manual. You just go to the advertisingfieldmanual.com, and I teach everything that we talking about right now, from launching a campaign, from even figuring out how to create an ad account, start your business manager. You know, a lot of people don't know that they think when you run Facebook ads, you just hit that promote button. You got to go to business.facebook.com and then actually create an ad account and get set up on the back end. And I teach people how to, you know, I'm sure you probably know about disables. Like I teach people how to avoid disables. I teach people how to back up their data, like by having a backup pixel, because just in case if Facebook comes through and says, you know what, you've been breaking too many policies, we're gonna shut down your account. But if you had a backup pixel the whole time, like, okay, cool, I got it backed up over here, and you still got the machine
I know
rolling.
a lot of boys that got shut down accounts.
Yeah,
That's big.
yeah.
Now, question to you. What's the difference between hitting promote on your business page to get more views and more reach than doing things your way?
So the biggest difference is you don't really have the same amount of control. You have way more control when you're on the back end.
What's the difference in the control, though?
From you can create lookalike audiences, which lookalike audiences, let's say you got an email list of 1,000 people that bought from you. So Facebook, you can plug that email list into Facebook, and Facebook will go find millions of other individuals that's just like those thousands of people that already bought from you. Because Facebook tracks purchasing behavior, purchases and purchase intent. They know if an individual's a window shopper. So you're feeding purchases, people who purchase from you, into there. And that's a big enough gym in itself to make sure, like, don't hit that promote button.
Got you.
Yeah.
Just because I've seen the promote button before. I've hit it in my lifetime. And, you know, you think that you're narrowing it down because it talks about, like, what city, male, female, age, gender, and blah, blah, blah. So, like, you know, a lot of people probably do think that they're promoting.
Right.
You know, but it's basically just throwing the money in the air and seeing where it lands.
Right. I mean, the promote button can be good, like if you want to like increase your followers or something like that, just spend a little bit of money on that. But the deal is Facebook knows, like, you can't even choose what you optimize for if you just hit that button, right?
When you say you can't choose what you optimize for, what are we optimizing for?
So on the back end, you can tell Facebook you want to optimize for people who have purchase intent, for people who are buyers. Conversion ads is what they call them. But when you hit that promote button, you're just running traffic ads. Conversion ads?
Yes, but you know, how do they know that I'm looking to buy?
They tracking.
Oh wow.
They tracking, so they know behavior, right? They know behavior. So if you're buying stuff off of these sites, they got pixels. They know your value. Like you can even Facebook has where you can pretty much run value-based lookalikes, right? Well, that's where literally the platform will go out and find people who have a behavior of buying more than one thing, or have a behavior of buying like, you know, a higher value, like, and then it's called value optimization. So Facebook is optimizing.
Does that lead cost more?
Nah, it's the same. You do have to build up to it. You couldn't just go right into that. You got to like actually build up, you know, collect more data. They call it seasoning the pixel, get that pixel seasoned up, and then you can step into those things.
Got you. So I hear what you're saying, but what if I didn't have a lookalike audience with an email of people who purchased? You know, how hard is it to get that off the ground and get it going to monetize it?
So then you would just build up. So pretty much the funnel, you got to think about the sales funnel. And Facebook, they call them events. Like you get multiple events. You get, it's called view content, add to cart, initiate checkout, add payment method, purchase. Those are all different events that's tracked. So say you want to create a custom audience, like say you don't have a bunch of people who've purchased, but you got a bunch of people to add to the cart. Well, you can do the same thing, create custom audiences to retarget them, or create custom audiences to create the lookalikes, to build off of them. So then that way you're targeting people that already have that type of purchase intent behavior.
Got you. If you don't even have that though, what do you do? Like I'm starting a brand new website. I'm selling t-shirts. Never sold t-shirts before. It sounded like a good idea. This is cool. Let me put it out there. I don't even have that email to track.
Now that's a good question, because what I tell business owners is like, if you don't have something working already with your offer, chillax. Don't go into ads yet, unless you really got the capital and you're ready to just, you know, spend a bunch of money. Because if you validate an offer that works, and when I say offer, I mean like, let's say your t-shirts, you know your best-selling t-shirt, or you know like a bundle deal that works good, and that's what you've been selling organically. So I tell people to validate what they got going on organically, and then after that, the ads are supposed to amplify what you got going on. Now, if you got the capital and you don't care spending a little bit of money, that's the shortcut that people who do have capital can take. Because they're like, I ain't finna play around with organically. I'm finna just spend a few $1,000s to go ahead and figure out what's gonna work, for my offer. Because keep in mind, and why I keep highlighting on offer is because you gotta test multiple pieces of video content, photo content to really find what's gonna be that ad that works for your business, your brand, your product, your service. So there's no reason to also have to be testing an offer. That's why I tell people to validate, like, for example, for course creator, like come up to me and like, I'm thinking about selling my course at this price, this price, this price. Don't really know. I'm gonna say, unless you're really ready to spend to test all those different offers, I recommend you figure out what the market tells you first, organically, and then let's come on over here to this ad space so we can amplify what you got going on.
So I know this is probably outside the box, but how can somebody go develop a good offer?
So if somebody asks that, I let them know that basically, I'm sure we know social media is a lot of noise going on. And people who really take actions, like the consumer that takes actions off of social media, it has to be an irresistible offer. You have to treat it like, treat it like when you walk around the mall and the mall got some sign slapped in the window like, hold on, what that sale say? Let me go ahead and check it out. But then once they come in, you better have your stuff together so that way it's not somebody that just check you out and bounce off your site.
Got you. So we can talk about myself a little bit. And
Okay.
when I started off doing Entrepreneur to Entrepreneur, basically it was the pandemic. I was like, man, a lot of people ask, for me to help them out or they got questions. So the entrepreneur piece came in from me to you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's kind of like where the name came from.
Right.
But my offer was 21 steps. 21 steps to your first deal. Basically, I'm teaching people how to acquire their first deal.
Okay.
Sounds like a lot of work, though.
Yeah.
People don't want to know the steps; they want the end results.
Right.
So later, as I developed an irresistible offer, because I felt like that was irresistible. Today, I've created that we teach people how to get free rental properties.
Okay. Yeah.
And we give them the method into how to structure their business, how to purchase properly, therefore the numbers fit so that the bank can support it. And at the end of the transaction, basically, you obtain the property and you get all your money back. And basically no money in the game, and it makes infinite cash for life. You get tax benefits, appreciation, and cash flow. So I felt like that's an irresistible offer that you have to consider. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. So then I think that's an irresistible offer for sure. And then I like how you changed the name. Like the concept when you said the 21 steps, it's a lot of steps. But like when you change the name, I think like also on top of the offer, like that's a ton of value in there. But then it's like, do you validate the price point? Once you validate the price point and you got that irresistible offer, and then you validate it in terms of you sold it, then that's when it's like, all right, well, it worked right here. Let's go ahead and amplify it. And then another thing.
Oh, wait a minute, that's a gem though. Hold on before you go too far.
Okay.
Hold that thought.
Okay,
so what you just said basically was your product may not be selling because your offer is not good enough. You're asking me where you should price it. Earlier you said you were testing different price points to see what's working. You could be wasting a lot of money doing that.
Exactly.
But if you have an irresistible offer, then you can validate your price because you're giving them the result. You're telling them what the result is in the offer. Is that, am I tracking?
100%. What I was going to add to that is we use a tool called AdSpy. That is a paid tool. It's like $150 a month, or you can go to just Google Facebook Ads Library. Whenever somebody, is in a situation where they don't have their offer put together, I tell them, my company, we do this, my agency, we do this regardless. You need to find 3 competitors. Find 3 competitors that are doing whatever it is you're trying to do, whether it's a physical product, service, or course, and see what they're doing, study them. And then the ad space, it's millions, it's millions, and actually it's over 2 billion monthly active users on Facebook every month. Active users. So like sometimes people like, well, I don't want to really model what they got going on. I'm like, why? It's working. The market is big. They're probably targeting the same stuff we targeting, but when it comes back to the like, no trust factor, what you got going on, what your business and brand has going on is not going to be the same thing that creates the like, no trust factor for them. So there's room in the market for you too.
That's like saying,
So,
I don't want a millionaire's blueprint. I don't want to copy
right,
a
exactly.
$1 million blueprint.
That's exactly what it's like saying. So we're real big on just like modeling success. That's how we're able to take on clients that like we may have not even worked in the particular industry for that client. We're transparent. We'll let them know, but we'll say, we're going to go do our market research, and then we just going to model off of that. And then also that's where you can get your offers from. And then that's where you can also find out where you can add more value than your competition. So then you set yourself a little further ahead from coming in, new.
Got you. All right, so I want to tap into something else.
Okay.
Something that's very confusing and that I see a lot of people lost in, and they don't really understand. It's like a funnel. What the hell is a funnel, bro?
Right.
Do you get the same question?
Yeah, I do. And sometimes I have to catch myself because I know that most people think of the funnel in terms of just like click funnels. Their landing page, when you buy a product, or if you don't buy it, you got to downsell, upsell, all of that. When the advertising world, we think of funnels differently in terms of like, what's that first top of funnel to bring them into your brand's world?
Okay.
Which that's when cold traffic first sees the ad, right? And then, of course, the bottom of the funnel is when they buy. But in that in-between space, you need to be running ads of stuff like testimonials. Are you familiar with UGC?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so UGC is known as user-generated content. That's going crazy. That's going crazy right now in 2021. It's always been something that's been used a lot, but now like it's really starting to like be on the forefront for brands, e-commerce brands, whatever it is. And basically UGC is where somebody is like actually, it can be like an unboxing, of a product. It can be like somebody like, hey, I'm in or like Fashion Nova does it all the time. Like if you go look at Facebook Ads Library and look at Fashion Nova, all they're running is UGC.
Got you. So what's a UGC for somebody in the real estate field like myself?
So I would say a UGC would be, can you expound on that a little bit for like selling the education?
Yes, I'm sorry. For selling my educational course.
Right.
What is a good UGC for me to use and apply?
So something like that. Let's say you were doing like the ride along model, where you brought people out to,
rental property or a rehab.
Right. Rehab or something like that. So UGC for you would be simply one of your mentees coming to the side and recording a video like, hey, I'm out here, with Eric's ride along. We doing X, Y, and Z. I'm learning X, Y, and Z, all of that. And so that type of ad, you're going to run in the middle of the funnel. And then what you're going to be hitting at that point, when we talk about the like, no trust, that's somebody that just validated what you got going on. And it was organic. It don't even got to look like a professional ad. It needs to just be a camera. That's building that trust. Where people mess up, they try to make their reviews and the UGC stuff look too professional. So then you got people thinking like, did you pay that person to say that? Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. So like if I do a ride along, I might have Jackson there. He might just be on the sidewalk with the professional camera though, but obviously there's no flamethrowers in the back and shit like that. But you know what I mean? Is that cool though?
Yeah, that's still good.
Got you.
It's when you really like
testimonial
edits
like,
and stuff.
but they're live.
Right.
Got you. So that's where you go from cold to warm and try to get them into the bottom of the funnel. Got you. So that is a funnel. That's the funnel that you describe when you're talking as a ad advertiser.
Right. Which is completely different.
Completely different than the click funnel as you're going through, hey, you first got advertised to, and then you clicked it, put your name and email, then you got the free ebook. That's a different type of funnel. Got you. I wanted to make sure that we deciphered the two. You said funnel several times. Yep. So I wanted to make sure that they knew the context of what we were talking about.
Definitely.
Yeah. Got you. Okay. So now, to kind of keep things going, as far as like what you're doing, you have 42 clients. Do you you're teaching a course. You have two different programs. What are the differences between the two programs, and what are the different price points for the programs?
Right. So the advertising field manual course, pretty much that program, that's the one that's just a full course. It comes with an ebook. I charge $497 for that course. And then the other product is pretty much where it's an advertising community. And we pretty much branded ourselves as the #1 advertising community in the world, to to where me and I believe in collaboration over competition. Me and one of my guys, his name is Dantes Akram, we collaborated and we created this community because we're both in the same space. We both advertising experts. We both in the e-commerce space. We created this community that's $30 a month, where they pay $30 a month, and we do one Zoom call a week. And then they also get a free beginners course on Facebook ads. We've got community managers in there. We got a community of like hustlers and entrepreneurs that just are sharing their journey with each other. And then we also do once a month master classes, which is for the individuals that are getting further along. And it'll only be 30 students in that master class. And me and Tez will pretty much be side by side with them, doing like 3 calls a week with them for 5 weeks. And that's it's on sale right now for $500. We're going to be charging $1,000 a person for that, but right now that's $500.
Got you. Heard the man, he doubling the price, so get in, man, tap in.
For sure.
Got you. So he's down here in Georgia. We locked in because we were at a mastermind.
Right.
So just know that when Neil hear that price, he's gonna tell you to double it some more. So tap in with my guy, man. Now, is the $30 membership, as I heard you say, advertisers, is that for somebody that's experienced or somebody new could crawl in there and pick it up?
It's for somebody that can be brand new, brand spanking new, because we wanted to create something that was, for everybody. So that's why we also got the master classes. Then we got the community. Then we also got the beginner's course that comes with it. And then because a lot of times, as I'm sure you know, like in the education space, sometimes like I did the one-on-one coaching. You want to help more people, but you're like, man, I'm burnt out. I didn't help a lot of people one-on-one, so I wanted to figure out something at the mastermind. Talking about figure out how you can increase your impact by doing one to many. So, that's where that came along. And then just having the access and then having more people that's experienced that we hired to be in there. They're called officers. We got officers and community managers in there that kind of help us, orchestrate, making sure we providing information every day in there.
Got you. What is unique about your advertising course?
I feel like one thing that kind of makes it more unique for me is because I know a lot of people jumped into it and pretty much there's so many different strategies with it. They got good at the strategy, but they didn't really learn the platform. Given the fact that I started so long ago in 2016, I learned the ins and outs of platforms and of the entire platform to where, for example, I know how to protect your data. I know how to back up your pixels so that way you can have your data for later on. I know how to what were we talking about earlier? Just kind of lost my train of thought.
You good?
Disables. Yeah, I know how to prevent people from getting disabled. I know the rules, so that's a key thing because I break that down in there because there's so many people who are like, I tried to launch my first ad and I got disabled. I don't like Facebook. They don't like me. So I'm like, no, that's not. Facebook wants our money. You just got to follow the rules because Facebook doesn't want to get sued, because we breaking the rules. So I really go in on my course about making sure you maintain compliance so that way you can keep your ad account active so you can keep getting to this advertising money,
Got you.
So that's one thing I feel that separates mine.
Got you. So I gotta get a little bit messy. Well, you don't know. You don't get to know me. It ain't messy, but it's just real. It's real.
100%.
A lot of people in your field get a bad name nowadays. A lot of shiesty business. A lot of people taking advantage of others that are
Green.
new.
Right.
So like, how do you get past that?
I feel like one thing that I've kind of implemented in the culture of my company is like we gotta lead with transparency and we gotta make sure we educate on the front end so people actually understand it. Like I know, I don't really knock anybody in the industry. What they do is what they do, but I know some agencies or people who run ads, like they won't even allow the client to go into their ad account if they want. Like I want you to see everything. I used to have my periods where I'm like, well, dang, if they see exactly what I'm doing and they see the strategy.
I just was going to go there. A lot of people fear that you empower me enough to where I could do it by myself. So why don't you fear that?
I don't fear it anymore because I realize like if I'm helping you grow your business and you're not really gung-ho about I want to be the best advertiser ever, you just know you need it for your business. Well, even if we've had this happen where clients like, all right, I see what's going on. I can take this over. Then they continue to grow or maybe they mess it up and then they come back like, all right, I forgot that you got to maintenance your ad account 7 days a week. I ain't looked at my ad account in a month, and I've been losing money. So I just kind of like, it is what it is. If you're really serious about growing your business, you better let somebody else wear that hat, because you're gonna be trying to wear too many hats, and then your ads aren't gonna be performing like they really could be. So whenever I change my mind to that, like, they can see everything. We can tell them exactly what we're doing. So,
Got you.
yeah.
Got you. Now, as far as like compensation,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people feel a certain way when you give a flat rate
Mm-hmm.
and then you ask for a return on net profits.
Right, profit share.
So, like, you know, a lot of people will be like, man, I'm not in business to profit share.
Mm-hmm.
So, why is your structure like that?
Yeah, it is.
Why is your business structured like that?
So what I eventually figured out, like, I had early on, I didn't have a structure like that, but then it wasn't until I realized that, like, when I started to hire, like, the structure makes sense. I can understand where people come from, but then at the same time I can't, because most agencies only take profit share off of the extra revenue that they generated. So with that being said, it takes a lot of time to manage money, right? So if people who charge a base pay, they may put like a base amount in terms of like how much money they actually manage on your account. But mind you, if we still doing that, I'm spending $1, I'm bringing out 3 or 4 or 5, however much, you want to spend the most amount of money. So you want to put most business owners that we have as clients, or all of the clients that we have, they understand that, like, okay, so they're incentivized to continue to make me more money, opposed to they're set it and forget it. Like, my angle, sometimes I'll talk about, we're not a set it and forget it agencies. They're set it and forget it agencies that may, like, I got these campaigns profitable spending $100 a day, but those campaigns could have been even more profitable spending $1,000 a day. But you only paid me a base fee, so I ain't managing $1,000 a day.
Got you.
So that's kind of how it go.
So what I heard was this.
Mm-hmm.
There are agencies that do take the flat rate,
Mm-hmm.
but when you pay the flat rate, they're going to spend so much, they're going to set it, they're going to turn on the faucet, and they're going to leave it on level 1.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to you, you're going to turn on the faucet.
Mm-hmm.
You are profit sharing with your company.
Mm-hmm.
What percent is that?
We do 10%.
Got you. 10%.
Mm-hmm.
Profit sharing 10%. But since you benefit,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to keep an eye on it,
Mm-hmm.
a closer eye on it, because you're motivated
Mm-hmm.
to watch it, because now you're part of the business
Mm-hmm.
success.
Yep.
So
Yep.
since the business success relies, your commission relies on the business success, you're going to make sure that you make money there.
Exactly.
And so that
Exactly.
is basically insurance for the business owner.
100%. And then, like, it forced me to do it when I really got to hiring, because I'm like, I'm getting, I got very, very talented team. We wouldn't be doing anything we're doing without my team. But, like, I started to realize, like, they can't only be making this percentage from the base pay and we spending all this money. That's going, like, I can't fault them for, we turned on the faucet, it's running. But then, like, we see the potential. So it's like, that's the worst thing you can do. And I feel like I wanted to make sure I didn't create my company like they do it, like in corporate America. Cubicle will give you a brief and say, just do this. Like, their eyes get big when they see that 4 ROAS, that 5 ROAS. They're like, oh, we finna scale this. But then just to think that you can only spend this much, or to think that you're not even incentivized to scale it.
Gotcha.
So.
And real quick, what 10% of what?
The profit. So let's say, for example, bring a client an extra $100,000 a profit in the month. That 10% payout would be $10,000.
Understood. What's your base fee?
So it kind of depends on what the business model is, but our base fee fluctuates anywhere between $997 to $2,000.
Got you. Plus 10%.
Plus 10%.
Understood. Okay. What's some of your large companies spending on average? What kind of budgets you managing?
About 5K a day.
5K a day? Jesus Christ.
About 5K a day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Got you. All right. Shoot, before you get out of here, man, I'm coming into it. I don't know that I got a pixel set up in Entrepreneur to Entrepreneur. I gotta check that.
You definitely need that.
I gotta check that, because I never ran ads to it, so I don't know if I did or not. But I think I did. Regardless of, like, I still do got an email list.
Yep.
That I could use though.
Yep.
Small though. I want to say maybe 400 or so.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Ideally, you want to have, like Facebook says, you want to have at least like 500 to 1,000
Gotcha.
on there. But I mean, you could do it. It just won't be as powerful as if you had 1,000.
Nah, fair
Right.
enough. Fair enough.
Right.
So, what can I do to obtain more?
More emails.
Yeah.
I would recommend get you a free funnel. Get you something that you're gonna give somebody for free. Collect their information, and that's another thing that you can run at the top of funnel. You know, to bring people into your world, but then that comes back to like make sure you nurture them. So then that way when they come into your world, they stay, and then you can do that on autopilot. Like I actually made a mistake by not getting emails just because in the heat, like when the pandemic hit, it was like everybody needed an agency because like online sales is moving. So I made a mistake by turning off my freebie because I'm like, oh, I'm focused on we scaling, we get more clients. But then a couple of clients let me know, like, you know, that's the deal. You work with a lot of business owners. Me as an agency owner, I get a lot of game from clients. They let me know, like, man, you need to get building that email list because if they take your page, if you lose your page or you get hacked, whatever the case may be, everything gone. So now I got a freebie, and I'm building an email list and a text list, and I just constantly add value to them. I nurture them.
Got you. So you telling me right now, E, before your relaunch, because I'm going to relaunch,
Okay.
I need you to figure out an organic freebie that you can leverage through your regular social media.
Mm-hmm.
So if I gave people like an ebook
Mm-hmm.
for free,
Mm-hmm.
they got to just opt in, email and text, they get the book for free. That'll be the easiest way for me to get those emails to then get to you to launch my product.
Right.
We're
Right.
going to get that done.
Yep.
That's a gem right there.
Yep. And you can also load them same emails in and retarget them with an offer. So you can go straight. You don't even got to go the lookalikes. It's always cheaper to test your ads to warm traffic first.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Nice, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you for
Absolutely,
doing this, man.
Absolutely,
You know what I'm saying?
man.
First
I enjoy
podcast,
it.
right?
First podcast. So, hey, you made me feel comfortable, man. I appreciate you.
I got
man.
you. I was a little
Appreciate you
invasive,
having
but
me.
you know what I mean? We gotta get some of that out of you, man.
Yes, sir.
Cool,
Absolutely.
man. So, hey, guys, I appreciate you for tapping in to another episode of First Generation Wealth Builders, man. Make sure you tell a friend to tap in, man. Like, share, subscribe, and tell everybody that this is the place to get knowledge and to kind of see how dope entrepreneurs have a connection to real estate. I'll see you on the other side.